Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? Let me check the audio. I gotta check it on my phone because I don't know how the mic sounds on my laptop. So give me just a second here. I'm gonna check this out. Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, everybody? Let me check the audio. I gotta check it on my phone. That sounds perfect, actually. Mic sounds on my laptop. Let me just do that. I just want to see the chat on my phone. That's all I want to see. Okay. Let me turn this music down real quick. I was scared. I was afraid I wasn't gonna get the stream up and running, if I had to be honest. It was really on the edge of like not being done. Let me hop in Discord real quick, see if anybody wants to join me. I doubt it. It's late. I don't expect anybody to join me this late. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is something different today. I'm going to be actually mapping in EO, or I'm going to be using Cirrus's mapper to be mapping for our little EO Adventures series that we're trying to do for SiinTV. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the standby off. There we go. So I'm basically working on Ren's Spider Farm. This is a map that we were going to add in to our server. So let me see, what am I going to add here next? This is where all his spiders are going to be. I imagine his character is going to be like somewhere right here in this area. We eventually need to add some more dirt. So that's probably what I'll do right now, is kind of play around with the dirt. Maybe we'll add... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. I mess up in this program all the time. Just all the time. We're gonna go ahead and just do that. I want to see what happens if I just do that, you know. Ooh. Okay, okay. I'm okay with this. Yeah. This I am okay with. This is okay. All right. Let's go ahead and kind of fill this area in with some stuff, because there's gonna be spiders roaming around in here. We've got all kinds of stuff at Ren's Spider Farm. Got big spiders, little spiders, pre-used spiders. You name them. The spiders are everywhere. I can't wait till we redo some of these rocks. This will be pretty cool when we get some new stuff in. Yeah, I don't like that there. Actually, I don't really like that rock in general. Something about that rock looks really weird. This one right here looks like a looks like crap. I'm sure whoever worked on it did a great job, but it just looks like a piece of poop. What else goes with spiders, you know? It's not like the spiders can't climb the damn fence. But it's whatever. It's a game. We're limited. Would this look good here in this area? Ugh. No, it doesn't. It doesn't look good at all. Well, problem is, though, we need to get more variations of this grass. Let me look at something real quick here. Let me just kind of play around with this for a bit. Thing is, I need more. I need to load in more of the custom objects that I want to put in, where it's like different characters that we can use as NPCs. But I don't have them yet. Let me zoom out on the map real quick. I gotta see what I'm thinking. Because I'm imagining Ren's gonna be standing right here. You know what? It's a farm. I mean, it's a spider farm. What was I doing over here? I was doing something over here. Hang on, let me fix this. This will give me something to do. That's a right wall. There we go. How far down does that go, though? Not very far. We'll fix that fence up later. I just want to get this done. I always have problems with this stupid mouse. It'd be cool, you know, it'd be cool. I know that Cirrus developed this. It'd be cool if there was like some sort of like line tool, where instead of just like drawing it out like that, there's an actual just like line tool. That'd be pretty handy. Other than that, though, it's a nice mapper. I'm terrible at this with the mouse at times. I always mess up. Actually, I need to grab... Let me grab something real quick. Hang on. I know I have my map layout. I need to see where Ren's Spider Farm is on the map, because I'm a little bit ahead of myself. Okay. Let's see here real quick. Ren's Spider Farm is connected to pathway 8. And Woods Training. So there's a down path and then there's a right path, so... that's something I didn't take into consideration. So path 7... No, path 8 will have to be the same size as this map. So we'll work on that pathway later. Right now we're just trying to get Ren's Spider Farm up and running for business. That's the job. That's the ticket. Okie dokie. I'm gonna go ahead and fix up these fence, because I like to do different types of things with it. Let's see here. It won't really be noticeable over there on that side. Interesting. We may want to cut off his fence like somewhere around here. There we go.
Yeah, that looks good. That's solid.
We had some trees here. Yes, indeedy. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have me some trees. Already had enough of these trees on this side. You know, some bushes wouldn't hurt. I always like to add a bunch of bushes into my maps. I don't know why. It's a thing. I enjoy it. Can I get away with it? Yeah, I can. And I will. We'll fix the ground later. Like, you know, honestly, what we need to do is we need to come up with different variations of this ground. Honestly, I don't really like the swamp ground. I mean, it's okay. It's just really hard to kind of blend it in with other stuff, like other parts of the map. So, we'll have to figure something out with that. But until then, it's okay. We'll go ahead and kind of mess up some of this terrain while my mind is on it. That's not what I want. Hey Mace, how's it going, buddy? You're up late. How are you? I have no idea what I'm doing right now, Mace. I shouldn't have picked Ren's Spider Farm as the first one.
I don't know what I was thinking. Why such a hard task?
Ugh, no, I don't like that at all. Let's not do that one. Wait, did you? I guess I need to get these from you here, the fixed ground tiles.
Definitely gonna need to get that fixed.
Can I get away with that? Yes, I can. I was worried, man. I was worried I wasn't going to get the stream up and running today. Like, I had a mini heart attack. It's like, oh no, I'm going to let everybody down, including myself. I'll never live it down. But I was overreacting, like I always do. Like a big old boy. By the way, I am in the Discord voice chat if anybody wants to come in and hang out. Just chill. We're not really going to be talking too much about whatever games we're playing right now. This is just chill. I mean, if you want to talk about EO related stuff, we can. This is just a chill hangout chat. Completely different type of content. You know, we could put some rocks here. Rocks are always good, right? Where are they? We need to get Ren to take a picture of his character so we can put him into the game. Let's see here. Those updated tiles should be uploaded. Well, I installed all the updates. We'll look at it later. Figure it out. Right now it's not a big issue. It may just be my laptop, for all I know. It's really hard to see from this screen. It's a lot tinier. Where are those rocks? Not those. Always like a big old a big old stone, you know what I mean? We can put one right there. That's too close. We should make like a banner, like a Ren's Spider Farm banner. I wonder actually, can we do something better? Can I do something better than that? Methinks not. Maybe Ren could be like standing over here, trying to make a deal. Trying to sell his spoolers. So I'm gonna need that other tent, the one that's facing down. There it is. Oh wait, no. I can still do this. It's so hard to do this from my laptop. Let's see. Yes, the nice fancy rock. Yeah, I do what I can, man. I wonder if we can get, that doesn't work, though. It'd be cool if we can get, something that works with that. With the swamplands. Anyways, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was trying to find carpet for underneath this. Because this is where Ren's going to be standing. Perfect. That's a great place for Ren to be. We're going to stick him there, and he can't move anywhere else. That's where he's going to be for the rest of his life. His Ren life is going to be right there. Around all this stuff. Ren's Spider Farm. We'll put a rock next to him, too. Yeah. Oh, not that rock. We'll put a better rock next time, like a... No, we won't put anything next to him. Actually, I will put something next to him, almost like he's running a business from his tent. But I like the idea of like people can run businesses in their tents. Well, I could put one little pebble next to him. You know, why not? Where's all the... There it is. So we'll put like a little thing here. Maybe another little no. That won't work. What else can go right there in that spot that won't be in the way? You know what? Those barrels. Those barrels that you made for me, Mace. That's what I want. Yeah. Oh, we need to add a mailbox too.
Ugh. Ugh.
Well, actually, that one's not too bad right there. Right there, maybe okay. It seems like overkill. Let's add a mailbox over there real quick to his house. We're gonna put it all the way down here. Actually, no, we can do it right over here. There we go. Now Ren's got a mailbox. I want you to know, Ren, whenever you do watch this stream, Mace can testify. Your house was a freaking nightmare to design. This roof was a nightmare to figure out. It upsets me. We put so much time into that stupid roof. You know, we can add like a little trim thing around here. Let's see what that looks like. We'll have to get rid of that bush. I do like that bush in that corner. You know what? What am I doing? What am I thinking? Simplify it. Yeah, Mace knows. He watched my struggle. He was a part of it. You know, I wonder, Mace, should you stay in your Mace character even in this stream? Or do you think no, I don't wanna. Nah, I don't wanna put you in that. Yeah, stay your silent self, you little beautiful Mace. You know what this house is needing, Mace? It's missing trim and outline. Let's see here from Sosa. Are you submitting these maps to Vult-r? Would it be cool to see, or it would be cool to see them in the game? I'm not actually. These are maps that we're doing for our EO Adventures server. Right now, it's just a server that we're using for recording content for EO Adventures, the series. And then after that, we plan to make it a playable server for people to come on and play. Anything that happens in the video, in the series, is canon to this server. So it's just kind of like our own little fun, unique server. A lot of these assets are going to change down the road, like Wish's trees here. They're slowly going to be replacing all these old EO trees and bushes. And she's got this, we got these mailboxes. these big twirly trees that she's made that she used to replace that other big tree that EO has. Some of the trees that we're gonna try to replace all the grass too. Right now, this is a map that we're doing as an inside joke between one of our guild members, Ren. So we're making his own, we made a joke saying that he has a spider farm called Ren's Spider Farm. And so we decided to make it canon into the story of the server. But no, I mean, I would like to see what Vult-r would think of the server one day if he ever did check it out. Be interesting. See what he thinks. Yeah, that's what this is missing, Mace. It's missing the trim, you know what I mean? It's missing the trim. Ah, it's beautiful. Oh man, we're gonna have to do a it's gonna have to be an overlay 2. It wouldn't be over, would it be overlay 2 or would it be overlay? Let's see. Yeah, I think it'd be overlay 2. Nope, that will not work there. I think. I may have to make a sacrifice. Actually, hold on, let me test something out here. You do have these corner pieces that you made. Oh, shoot. Where are those corner pieces that you made? Oh, you actually have the tops of the trees. Interesting. That is interesting. Oh, these are new. Those are all new. That's exciting. Bush needs to be added to overlay 2. Yeah. Let's go ahead and what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to leave that alone, Mace, and I'll let you fix that for overlay 2. And then we'll just go ahead and just leave that alone for now. Come back to it later. We'll fix that. That'll be overlay 2. Must go back up to the trim. Every house must have trim. You know, I did, you know, it would be interesting if Vult-r ever made a an official server again. I'd be happy to map for him if he ever decided to do it. I love mapping. It's a lot of fun. I'm not the best at it, but I do enjoy it. So ignore this boo-boo. We'll fix it later. There's nothing we can do about that right now until Mace. Actually, if Mace quickly adds it, I could probably add it in real quick, but I don't expect him to do that this late at night. Yeah, get that out of here. May have to scooch that one back a bit. Let's see here. Let's see here. Overlay 2 draws over everything. You don't generally want to use it for object type things. A player walked next to an overlay 2 will draw underneath it. Oh. Interesting. Well, we know what we gotta do. Get rid of that bush. It's gotta go. It's gonna mess up the effect. Gotta have my trim. We'll put that bush somewhere else. How's it going, Jonah? How are you doing? Is it morning for you? We'll get rid of this. We'll move this down somewhere else. Where is it? I could just do the object. What am I doing? I got distracted. I shouldn't have put those there. Let's see here. Overlay 2 draws on top of everything. That's the distinction between those two layers. It's 2:38 p.m. over here. I'm just doing some digging into how original quest engines work. Oh? Like what? You got something big planning? Doing some research. Yeah, I'd have to go and overlay 2, because I believe 2 goes over. Or over. Whatever. It's what Jonas said. He's right. He is right. He knows this. I can never get these corner tiles right. There, finally. I never get these things right, ever. Never find the right one on the first try, or the second try, or ever. Let's see here. Like how the original EOS game server pars and executed EO quests. I would know. You would know that, but well, would that? I mean, that'd be something you can ask Vult-r, right? I'm sure he would be happy to answer you. I don't know. Oh crap! What am I doing? So we're gonna add this here. Back to the ground. I don't know how I feel about this pathway. We're gonna have to fix that up though, because I don't like. I hate it when I see that little grass bleeding through like that. It drives me nuts. I made sure not to show off anything big with this server yet, because we do have some big plans for it. Just don't plan to show it yet. Now here's the question. What happens when I do this? That goes over. I'm just trying to see what I can get away with. Okay. That's gonna look ugly no matter what. Let's see here. Good evening. Hey, Sylvie, how's it going? How are you? I'm doing good. Let's see, Vult-r isn't too forthcoming with implementations, details. He probably would need to refresh himself on his own code due to how long it's been since implemented all of that. Yeah, I'm sure he's got a lot of catching up to do. It might be a little bit overwhelming for him too. I'm sure there's some people who's like expecting him to do these updates. Let me think here for a second. I can make this work, but I don't like this. That's the only thing I don't like. Can I make that work? By God, I can. Not much of a farm if you keep adding this kind of crap around it. Of course, it's a spider farm. It's not a real farm. It's just for spiders. You know, Everybody knows you need concrete for spiders. I need, you know, Mace, what can we do about making different textures for these? I would like to get more broken up grass, because there's not a whole lot for this. Let's see, from Sylvie. I'm tired. The last 2 weeks has been me trying to get both really good gaming performance and stability on Linux. And in doing so, I have broken my install so many times on my... Oh no, that doesn't sound good at all. I was inspired by that I found out that I could get just as good as, if not better, with some tweaks I did. Ooh. It sounds like you're having a lot of fun over there, breaking it and trying to figure it out. Let's go back to the ground real quick. That's the problem when you do maps starting off, like you don't know fully where you're going just yet with it. But then it kind of builds as it goes. Would it be too much if we add skeletons for the spider pin? What do you guys think? Let's take a vote on it. Skeletal remains in the spider pit, maybe some blood, maybe, you know, maybe they've been feasting off some humans. Maybe Ren was up to no good, you know, got rid of some of his enemies, if he had any. I'm now installing a cool music player I found on Linux that has Windows ports. Ooh, what's it called? Let's see here. I'll see what I can do for those tiles later. Okay. Yeah. Strawberry music player. Strawberry music player. Where have I feel like I've heard that before somewhere. I don't want this fence going all the way down here. This is ugly. We'll cut it to there. I need to find some farm stuff, you know? Some e-haul stuff. No, that's not what I wanted. Why did I do that? I don't know if he was here earlier, Jonah, when I mentioned this, but one thing I really do like your program a lot, but would it be possible to do like a line tool for this, for the mapper? Like something that you can just do like a straight line all the way through? You might have also heard it, which looks almost the same as I think as less features. Huh, Clementine. I may have seen that before. I think the one that I used when I was using Linux was called, what was it called? No. What was it called? It was something Wolf. Something Wolf Player. I remember that. That I do remember. Maybe it was like Frost Wolf, Ice Wolf or something. It wasn't like LimeWire or anything like that. It was nothing illegal. It was like a completely... it was a Linux program that I used at the time when I was using Ubuntu. What was it called? Something Wolf. Frost Wolf? Frozen Wolf? I don't remember. Let's see here from Jonah. I could probably implement a line tool. It's been requested before. It would be interesting to have it. It would help me out. best with my mouse. Of course, I'm also on my laptop too. My laptop mouse is very sensitive at the moment. That bush is gonna go. Oh, that bush didn't bleed through. Nice. I'll have to go back through and look at this later and correct this. Just trying to get the basic shape of it down. No, get rid of that. There we go. And then we can put some trees or bushes, something right here to kind of fill this map in. You know, I'm curious though, Mace. You added the, these. So those go, that's just an empty treetop. Interesting. So if I wanted to technically cut part of the map off like this, where players can't go out of this reach, I can technically kind of do like what, you know, like what BU does, and cover some of the, you know, the void with some tree tops. Because I do like it when they do that. Let's see here. Ezekiel? How you doing, bud? I'm doing good. How are you? Happy Saturday evening, or whatever it is for you at the moment. Let's see here. From Sylvia. I looked up music player, Wolf Ubuntu, and then Linux instead was Ubuntu, nothing came up. Something cool if you want a retro feeling music player is Audacious. Now, you know, Audacious, that sounds very familiar. I think I used to use Audacious back in the like way back. Back in the good old days. That sounds very familiar, Audacious. I don't know, do you think his mailbox should go over here? You know what, yeah, let's move Ren's mailbox. Well, no, it makes sense that his mailbox is at his gate, at his fence. We'll make like a little pathway that leads to his house. Yeah, I knew who you were, Izzy. I just was double checking just to confirm. I never know these days. Oh crap, what did I do? Just to be on the safe side. Audacious has a Windows version, just checked. Love how the map is coming along, Sin. You're gifted for sure. Oh, thank you. Hey, UK Perspective. How you doing, buddy? Just kind of get you a better perspective of what we're doing. We're making Ren's spider farm here. I just started this map, so it's gonna be a bit. It'll look more filled out near the end. You know what? We can go ahead and kind of fill some things out real quick. Let's put some trees. I'm very all over the place when I map, but it comes together at the end somehow. I do like covering up that spot. That's nice. I could show off a little. Actually, hang on. Let me do something here real quick before we continue in Spider Farm. I want to see if I can find... What is this one supposed to be? I made this new one called Oddville. I don't know what this one's supposed to be. Okay, this one has nothing yet, apparently. It's a big map. Oh That's not gonna be in the game. I'm not doing that. Screw that. It's too big. Sometimes bigger maps is not always better. Remember that. Think, Zach, think. What can I do to make this look like it's fading out? That's the hard part, really. See, if I had one that matched this dirt, it would work. I could add this as just a temp place. Okay, Mace, I got another one for you. This one right here, can we, or any one of them really, it's any one of these that's like a corner piece that leads out the pathway. Can we match it with this dirt? Just have like a custom tile for that? Let's see here. From the White Rabbit, evening. Oh wow, all the 3 EO content creators that made it interested in one stream. How's it going, Wired Rabbit? Wow, we've got the UK perspective and the Wired Rabbit on. This is a nice stream. How you doing, buddy? Evening. Just doing a little bit of mapping. Also in the Discord if anybody wants to hang out and voice chat and chill with me. Talk in voice if you want. Yeah, Mace, if we can get that, if we can get like a connection to that, let's see here. It's on the list. Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and fill this out with dirt and assume that's what's gonna happen here. Should I go ahead and are you gonna do for all these corners? Because I could probably make it edge off like all around, if that's the case. Do we have corners for that though? Are there corners for that? I don't see a corner for it. Okay, well, assuming that Mesa's gonna get that one fixed, we'll just leave it there for now. Have you been, Wired Rabbit? What you been up to lately? I'm gonna just start. I'm not gonna leave it completely like this, surrounded in dirt. But I want to see what the most I can get out of this. Like I said, use your imagination, people. That will be changed later. May have to move that tree. Okay, back to what I was doing. My filthy evil. You know, I just noticed that there's not a whole lot of this side piece right here for this. What the heck, man? What the heck? Was there not a whole lot of variety? Well, I could probably do this one. Yeah, that works. Yeah. It's nice. Let's see here. I got a new video up and a production line for upcoming content. Finally getting back into the swing of things. Ooh. Well, I can't wait to see what you're going to be doing, buddy. Why is my music not playing? What's going on here? There we go. Oh no, I don't know what was going on there. Well, I'm excited. It's been a little bit since we've seen you. It's definitely been a hot minute since we've seen the good old Wired Rabbit. What's been going on in your world, though? I haven't been up to much lately. I've just been chilling, working on server stuff, working on some content. Just playing around, having fun lately. Been playing a game called Tunic lately. It's kind of like a Zelda game. It's a really interesting game. You should play that on your channel sometime. It's called just called Tunic. I think it's like $20 for the game. I wouldn't mind gifting it to you if you play it on your channel. I'd love to see it being reviewed. That ain't gonna work. And I knew it wasn't gonna work. I just was being optimistic with it. Man, there's really not a whole lot of that side either, is there? Of course, it doesn't help that I can't see. Okay, I'm gonna have to do something here. There we go. That'll have to do. I don't really like the way that looks. I need this piece. That'll work. That looks a little bit less jaggedy. Let's see here. Interested to see what kind of content you come out with. Yeah, definitely. Let's see here from Sylvia. I heard that Tunic is really, really good. It is. It's hard, but it's really good. I do recommend people playing that game. That's a fun, cute game. And then I've been playing, I got back into Valheim again. Just me and Mace and Heretic Fox and Null. We've all been playing Valheim. Just kind of taking a break from EO content a little bit lately. Just to have fun. I don't like the way that looks either. I could have sworn I had other more variety of tiles for this, but I guess I don't. It's interesting. I thought I did. What's if I put this here? Yeah! It's too close. Let's see here. IRL, I've been still dealing with life. Pain's been getting worse, but I've been much more productive now that I have a new med. So that's good. That's good. Hey man, just take it one day at a time. Get back whenever you can and don't overdo yourself. Just, you know, don't let the worries of the world get you down. Sorry, I'm opening up a Coke. Trying to keep myself awake. It's late for me. It's like 10:02. I don't normally stay up this late. See, I've heard of some good things about Tunic. I used to stream a lot of adventure games, and if I kept it up, it would have been on my list. I'd say at least check it out in your own free time. It's a really fun game. It's unique. Well, I wouldn't say it's too unique, but as unique as a close to Zelda game can get. Let's see, what can I... Oops, that's not what I wanted. Now, can I get away with this? I sure can. And I did, and I will. No one can stop me. The police can't stop me. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, I need a... Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. The top one doesn't have this little piece right here. Neither does some of the side. Well, this one has it on the sides and this side. But the top one doesn't have that. Which is kind of a shame. Makes it a little harder to figure out what to do with it. But hey, that's life. Life throws you curveballs. Let's see here. It also has a real charming art style. Yeah, it really does. It's hard though. I will say that. There's been times I've There's been times I played that game and I'm not joking, man. I was playing it, died like 10 times, and I was like, "All right, you know what? I'm frustrated. I'm tired. I'm going to put the game down and go to bed. I'm exhausted." The game will wear you out. It's exhausting. I can't wait to see what Wish does with these trees. Like, I really like these trees that she's done. Like, I love the detail and the shading she's put on these. So I'm very curious to see what she's going to do with these trees. I can't wait to see it finished, honestly. She's been doing a really good job on those trees. Huh, I don't remember that being there, but we'll make it work somehow. Let's get rid of that one. We'll make that work. That was an accident. It was a boo-boo, but I'll make it work. I'll use my boo-boos. That's not what I want at all. That might work. So let me ask you guys this. Have anybody's ever messed with a mapper before? And any other type of thing? Like, my first mapper I ever messed with, not EO related, was, this is how I got used to mapping. My first mapper tool I used was an RPG Maker. I don't know if anybody's ever played around an RPG Maker. I'm sure everybody's heard of RPG Maker. But that was my first mapper tool I ever used. And then I got to play around with Construct 2 and 3 for a bit with mapping. Wasn't the best at it. And then I got to play around with Paper Maker, RPG Paper Maker. That was a really cool one, actually. It was like a Paper Mario style type RPG Maker, free engine, actually. It was very limited though. It was still early access, testing things out, but it had a lot of promise to it. I wanted to see more from it. What about you, Jonah? What did you ever get to map in other stuff? Other things besides EO mappers? That is not gonna work. That is ugly 9,000 is what that is. That could work. We'll leave it for now. We'll leave it be. Did you guys see the new update that's been released by Vult-r? The themes? I'll be covering it here pretty soon, actually. I was really excited about that update, too. Let's see here. Rarely, but I've used a couple of mappers in the past. Let's see, I was into various versions of RPG Maker as a kid. Oh yeah? What versions did you mess with? And did you, like, play around, and do you still have, like, some of your old RPG Maker files? I have some of mine. They're kind of like guilty pleasures. See, that's not gonna work. What am I trying to do here? That is the right. I'd have to go right here. This would need to go away. Let's see here. I never made anything serious with them, but they were my first tiny step into game dev stuff. Yeah, you know, like that. I was back 2 years ago, actually, before I started getting back into EO. I was playing around with RPG Maker again. I was wanting to make my own game with RPG Maker because I was really inspired by Undertale. But I kind of gave up on it. I was like creating my own custom tile sets and learning how to make tile sets and objects and sprites and stuff like that. I still have the dev folder too for that game, but it never really got too far. But it was a lot of fun messing around with RPG Maker. Let's see, from Sylvie. I did a bit of mapping in Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 scenario creator. The Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3's part creator also spent a small amount of time in free MMO engine. I forget the name of it. I didn't see it. Wait, did he just add onto the previous update's changelog? It seems confusing to know what's new. So basically, I made a suggestion a while back about making in the config files an easy to select theme changer. And so now you can just, people can create and upload and submit, and you can import custom themes and quickly switch throughout them in the config files without having to sit there and go throughout your graphics files and do it the complicated way. There's a much more easier solution to it now in the configs file. I'm so happy to see that. I really am. Such a that one right there I'm gonna drool over, kind of gush over a little bit if I had to be honest. That was something I've been wanting to see for a long time. Let's see here. From Wired Rabbit. When I was in high school, I was slowly teaching myself how to make stuff in Game Maker Studio. I got pretty far, but my ADHD kicked and ended up just becoming focused on something else. Let's see, that's from Sylvie. That's pretty cool. Yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm gonna gush over that update. I love it. I'm so happy that that update made it. Like, I'm really happy about that one. I remember Game Maker Studio. I think I had a friend that let me play around with Game Maker Studio for a bit, but I never actually got to like own a copy of it. I still have a copy though of what's it called? I'm trying to think. My brain is doing two things at once. I still own a copy of Construct 3, and I thought about making a test EO server in Construct 3, because you can do an isometric game and basically just import your own custom EO assets or EO lookalike assets into Construct 3, and it can do so many cool things. So many cool things are so easy that I don't even have to know how to do, because I'm not a programmer like Jonah or any of these amazing programmers, but it helps people like me because it comes like with like little boxes and widgets of how to put the code in. Kind of cheating for me, but it works. Let's see. Game Maker Studio is still pretty popular. Didn't Toby Fox use, is that his name, Toby Fox, the one that did Undertale? Didn't he use Game Maker Studio too? I think he did. I believe so. Where's my corner pieces? There. Wait, no, that's not a corner piece. That's, wait, no, it's not. What am I doing? Where's my corner piece? Stop it! You guys wonder why it takes developers so long to create new maps and servers? This is why. This stuff takes a while. It's not easy. It's kind of hard, actually. I mean, it's fun, though. I will say this is like something that's definitely in my element. I love doing stuff like this. I would be doing this stuff all the time if I was given this job. They'd be like, hey, make me a map. Like, what do you want? Just give me the deets. I'm gonna make you a map. Yeah, okay, so... Okay, no, that one does have that piece, which is good. That's what the piece I wanted. Might go back and fix that later, but that works. Yeah. Yeah. Again, this roof was a nightmare to figure out. This is like a mixture of like overlay, left walls, right wall, or down walls, right walls, overlays, overlay 2, and then roof tiles. God, that was such a complicated roof to put together. Let's see. Yeah, a surprising number of games are made in Game Maker. I mean, it definitely looks simple to learn, and any let's see here. Game Maker? Are you talking about Game Maker looks easy to learn? It doesn't look like it's too hard. I definitely want to try it out. Let's see here. I've been eyeing up the the Godot engine. I've been looking at that one too. Let's see here. When I have more free time, I might take a crack at learn. Yeah, I've been looking at the Godot engine as well. I really am. I thought about me and Wish were talking about that one and wanting to test things out. You know what else, Mace? We may have to create corners right here, like little corner tiles. Is there corner tiles for this?
There isn't. We need corners.
What can I get away with over here? You know what? I just want to see something real quick. Bear with me. Okay, now that I looked at it this way, I don't want this concrete anymore. It's gone. It's gone forever. So what we could do... Ah! No! Get that out of here. So let's go ahead and get rid of this. There we go. That's actually a lot better. Yeah, get rid of that. Hey, you know, sometimes ideas last and then they go, you know? They're not always winners. Again, I can't decide. Should we put skeleton remains in here or blood or anything violent? Imagine making a full-on castle with that complicated mess. Ugh, yeah, no, that would be bad. Imagine recreating a castle from old school RuneScape. Ugh, no. I don't want to. It's real appealing piece of software. Yeah, it's a pretty cool... I do like Godot. I like some of the games that were made in Godot too. I was testing them out. You know, we could probably put some boxes, some crates here. Why not? You interested in hearing about my next video? Yeah, shoot, go for it, buddy. Tell me your next video. By the way, you can hop in Discord voice chat if you want and chat with me in there. My ears are open. Well, these rocks... We tested these rocks out before, right? That's not too bad, now that I look at it more. I already used that one. No. Try not to be, like, too overdone with it. You could make a map to play hide and seek or something in for content. You know, I would like to add some minigame maps. I'd like to add... I love the idea of adding freeze tag. Yeah, I'd like to add freeze tag. I do like capture the flag. You know what I'd like to add, but I don't even know how to even go about doing this, but I would love to add a, okay, what is this? I would love to add a, like a turf war minigame, where you have to, like, cover the map, or maybe, like, change, one team a different, like, red team and blue team, and, like, if you tag somebody, they now become blue team, and you're trying to, like, dominate the field with whatever team you're on. Some sort of turf war idea. I don't know how you would be able to do it with a map, though. Like, my whole original idea was Splatoon. Like, you know, like where you cover the whole map up with different color ink, but I don't even know how you would even go about doing that with objects and down walls and right walls, and I don't think that could be possible. Let's see here. But Trippy was kind enough, he is letting us use his Bomberman minigame for our server, so Bomberman will be in our server as well. Thank you to Trippy. Let's see here. I don't know if you really care about D&D or if you have heard the news, but I plan on doing a little coverage on some controversy that is currently going on right now. I heard that there was controversy with D&D at the moment, but I don't know what it is. Did they change something? No, it was like a... It like had something to do with like the DMs or the GMs or something like that, like cost-wise or something for the game for a session. Let's see here. Or like your own maze of sorts. Now, we do have mazes. There are actually a lot of mazes already in the server. We have a total of around 60-something maps currently that we've made. I'm not showing off everything yet. Most of the maps right now are a secret. This is the biggest map I could show right now. I might show off one city map before I end the stream tonight, but we do have mazes. There's these maps called Trials, and they're pretty cool. They're pretty intense. They're hard. They'll test you out, like with your stamina, your wits, how well you can put together puzzles and stuff like that. Let's see here. In Tony Hawk, there's a multiplayer game mode for that, like Paint game mode. Or Paint game mode. Yeah, I would love to do something like that, but again, I don't know if EO or the game engine, the client, could handle that. I would need a very talented programmer for that, and I don't think I could, or a whole new client, really. I would need a better client, one that could handle it. Accept the request. The request? What request? Oh, you're in the audience. Get in here. There you go.
Hey, long time no see.
How's it going, buddy?
Hey, it's going pretty good.
So tell me about this this controversy. I don't know too much about it.
This is probably a good primer for me to. So 1 second. Discord's being weird on me.
That's the huge.
All right. This might be a good primer for me to rehearse what I'm gonna say in my video anyway. I have it all scripted out and everything. I got the whole thing planned out. All I need to do is record the footage and do the audio. But all right. So a couple days ago, or maybe like maybe a week, a little over a week ago, I think at this point. I haven't really been keeping track too hard. Wizards of the Coast, the creators of, or the people who are in who own the IP to Dungeons and Dragons, made an announcement, and the announcement was that they are going to be retiring and replacing something called the OGL, or the Open Game License. And what the Open Game License essentially allowed people to do was make homebrew content for D&D and be allowed to sell it. So you could probably already imagine that a change to such an important document for people didn't really go over well. But essentially what Wizards of the Coast seems to be trying to do is push community created content out of their market and control a little bit more of the market share. So that's the most basic kind of description of it. But for me, it's a little bit more like, a lot of people are covering the legal end of things. Like, a lot of people are like, can they even do that? Or is there anything we can do to fix it? And people have brought up, like, yeah, there's a few things you can try to do. You can try to be vocal about it to, get Wizards of the Coast to change their mind on the subject, or you can pull your subscription to D&D's subscription service, things like that. But to me, I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, so I used to be a Magic the Gathering player. Like, I used to be deep in that community. I used to, like, log on. I collected the physical cards. I would log on to Arena every day. I'd get my dailies done. I would keep playing games for fun. And a lot of that kind of ended when what Magic the Gathering does is sort of like seasons. So when a new season came about, the power creep was unreal. Like, it's funny, I was actually talking to one of my buddies who mentioned he quit playing Magic Arena at the exact same time I did, because that game is... They basically added a whole set of new cards and made a bunch of the old cards illegal. So my deck that I was using up to that point had to be, like, refreshed, essentially, which is a normal thing for Magic. They do things in a league system. You can use older cards in different formats, but their standard format, which is what I was playing, hinges on you using the basically the most recent set of cards. And one of their strategies is making better cards in sets that, like, come along down the line, to incentivize people to purchase the new sets. And on one hand, this does have a benefit. If you buy or if you don't keep around every single cards that were problematic in previous versions of the campaign, or of previous seasons of Magic the Gathering, they get retired So you don't have to worry about this big major ban list, and banning cards is actually less common in Magic the Gathering, which a lot of people do like. There are benefits to this, but there are drawbacks. And what one of the drawbacks is Magic the Gathering wants players to stop using the cards they have and buy new ones. And making, essentially, it's power creep. It's just power creep. So
Yeah.
they released cards that essentially added a new mechanic to the game, which just was infuriating to play with and against, and it required you to essentially build your deck around very specific cards, and I had enough of it. So I basically just gave up cold turkey. I just stopped playing the game. It was no longer fun to me. And since then, what Wizards of the Coast has done to Magic has been abysmal. I think it's this year, or it might have been 2022. I'm not sure which one of these years, but I'm pretty sure it's 2023. Because I'm pretty sure 1993 was when Magic the Gathering was released. So it's its 30th anniversary. And you want to know what they did?
What they do?
For the 30th anniversary, they released a 60 card pack as kind of like an anniversary thing. And in the 60 card pack, you got a random selection. Not even the cards you were looking for. You got enough. You essentially got 4 packs, I think, which each one had 15 cards in it. For these 4 packs, you would be paying $1,000. And it gets worse. Not only are these expensive collector's cards, but a lot of people have noted that they are reprints of like famous cards from past Magic the Gathering sets. So like one of the famous examples is the Black Lotus. A lot of people who don't even play Magic know the name Black Lotus because it's probably the most famous banned card for Magic the Gathering. But this leads into a separate problem. All of these anniversary cards are unplayable in any format because they are all of the most valued cards that they wanted to showcase in these packs are cards that have been banned in basically every format. So the only people who would even care out of the whole Magic community for the 30th anniversary are collectors who think that the value of these cards are going to go up. And even they are doubtful that that we're going to actually see these cards go higher in price because they're unplayable.
Right. Well, why are they? It almost sounds like
I realize I went on a big tangent about Magic the Gathering instead of actually getting into the D&D stuff.
Reminds me of kind of like what Yu-Gi-Oh's been doing with all their crap lately.
Oh, if you wanted me to, like, I probably have enough of complaints about Yu-Gi-Oh too because I really like card games.
Yeah, same here.
I really like card games, so I played them all except Pokemon. I've been thinking about it. I'm on the fence right now, but I collected the shit out of Yu-Gi-Oh when I was a kid. As a teenager, I collected the shit out of Magic the Gathering. And now as an adult, I've basically abandoned both of them because of when I was a kid, I could afford Magic the Gathering cards. I didn't have a job as a kid. As an adult, I guess I still technically don't have a job right now, but I couldn't afford even to start with Magic the Gathering at this point. It's just too expensive. I mean, I could probably go with there are formats that are affordable, but the thing about those formats is those formats are they are essentially established by the players. Like Commander is a popular one, and just to go into the rules, like very streamlined kind of explanation is you have a card of or I think it's a deck of 80 cards, and you can only have one of each. And the reason that's a good thing is if you're broke as hell, if everyone is forced to use decks of 80 different cards, then they have no chance of like guaranteeing them the card that they need to draw. So it's a lot more random, and it makes it a little bit easier for people on a budget to make decent decks.
Right.
Anyway, so that's kind of like a summary of my issue with Magic the Gathering. So, like, Wizards of the Coast for ruining one of my favorite games is already a little bit on thin ice for my own personal feelings towards the company. But then you get into what they're doing to D&D, and what they're doing to D&D isn't really going to affect the players of D&D nearly as much as it's going to affect all of the people who use D&D as an outlet to make a living. Because like the current OGL is pretty generous. Like, you get access to you're essentially allowed access to use a basic version of D&D to make content that is compatible with D&D. And you can, as far as that is concerned, going in and like pricing things out, you can do whatever you want with it. It is your intellectual property. It's just using what's essentially open source content.
Right.
But there's a free Pokemon Online TCG that you can earn cards and don't need to have some to play.
Yep.
Yeah, I've heard about that, and I've been like kind of interested in checking it out.
I was about to say, yeah, Sylvie's been responding to you and said, yeah, that's pretty gritty of them and not surprising. It does sound like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Anyway, so to go back to the OGL, what broke this whole story was the people who work in partnership with Wizards of the Coast received a message or an email or something, coupled with a non-disclosure agreement regarding a revision to the OGL. This revision is referred to as OGL 1.1, and it was leaked ahead of time, because I don't know who leaked it, but once it was out, it threw the whole fan base in an uproar, because they realized what Wizards of the Coast was, the writing in this document was pretty bad. Like, they have essentially, whereas the previous OGL offered people protection from Wizards of the Coast, so it was essentially an agreement Wizards of the Coast said, where Wizards of the Coast said, we aren't going to touch your content if you make it, and we never will.
Oof.
And this new OGL 1.1, is, first of all, the original OGL was written a few decades ago. And back when it was written, stating that this contract is perpetual was unnecessary to how you write documents that way. What they implied in the original OGL is that it's an open source part of Dungeons and Dragons, meaning it can be copied, it can be replicated, it can be shared, it can be sold. It was implied to be completely open source. And now they are claiming to retire this license, meaning it's not perpetual, and they're trying to reword the new OGL to claim like, hey, we can change our minds on a lot of these things anytime we want. And on top, if that wasn't bad enough, they're also making like the new OGL made the post like, or made the declaration that Wizards of the Coast is allowed to take your content and use it however they please.
Oh, that's bullcrap.
Exactly. It gets, and then on top of all of that, another addition people had issues with is the new OGL stated that if people were making over a certain threshold of money, they had to report it to Wizards of the Coast and participate in a revenue share. And it was a really high amount that that they needed to earn. But the reason why that is still bullshit is because when you have a production that massive, the money that's being earned is being split amongst an entire crew of people. So taking 5% away from the whole amount of money being earned by this content could often leave like a lot of money that could have been going to the actual creators and the people working on it. So it's just like, you know, it's forcing a pay cut for people who had no actual like man hours put into making the content, just because they own the intellectual property.
Yeah, that's crap.
And all of this being said, my issues with Wizards of the Coast with regards to Magic the Gathering, combined with my issues with Wizards of the Coast for like this anti-consumer change to their like flagship game, it's just leading me to be like it's leading me to think like, what could Wizards of the Coast even do to make me feel better about like using their products anymore? Because at this point, I'm thinking to myself, like, as much as I love Magic the Gathering, I had to give it up. And as much as I love Dungeons and Dragons, and as much as if you have the core rulebook for Dungeons and Dragons, you don't really need anything else from Wizards of the Coast ever again. But the fact that they're trying to claw away a lot of the community created content is going to lead to the community not wanting to create content, and thus and that's what a lot of people are pointing out. Like, Wizards of the Coast didn't make D&D popular. Wizards of the Coast made a rule book, and people built a community and like essentially expanded that rule book into a huge fan base. Wizards of the Coast historically couldn't keep up with the demand for content for D&D, and that is why they created the OGL in the first place. So that way it was a shortcut to having more content for their game, and with more content they could sell more core rule books. But now that's just all out the window.
Sounds like greed, man. Greediness.
It is horrible. And, there is a silver lining though. The company, it's funny because the OGL was actually designed for Dungeons and Dragons 3rd edition, or I think it was specifically 3.5 it was made for. So it's been around, and the first time they tried to roll back on the OGL, you want to know what happened?
What?
They created Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition. And if you're, I don't know how much you know about Dungeons and Dragons, but 4th is like the black sheep of Dungeons and Dragons. When 4th was released, and a lot of people are saying this was actually a symptom, because when they released 4, they didn't want to use the old OGL. And without the old OGL, you know what everyone did?
What?
They just kept playing 3. Nobody moved to 4. The people who moved to 4 didn't really like what Wizards offered, and with no community supporting it, it never got off the ground. And that is like that was like the dark age for D&D until they made 5th edition and people came back to it. They essentially, like, there's a historic precedent for Wizards of the Coast ruining their game in the exact way they're ruining their game right now. But this time around, I don't see them recovering because they have shown a repeated pattern of just like wrecking their game for people.
It's sad. They're gonna lose. They're gonna lose a lot of people.
But back to that silver lining, and the reason I brought that up is, there's a company named Paizo. They are the people responsible for creating and essentially authoring all of the Pathfinder books. And when Dungeons and Dragons 4th was released, and the OGL wasn't applied to the 4th edition, and people didn't like 4th edition, Paizo started a company just so they can make a competitor in Pathfinder, and that's why Pathfinder exists essentially. And in the modern day, Paizo, when the OGL was leaked, they only took 1 day before they responded to the controversy, saying, we're going to make our own OGL now. We're going to call it the ORC, or the Orc. And it's going, they've already promised that it's going to be fully open source, and it is going to be irrevocable. Meaning everything everyone wants out of Dungeons and Dragons, they can get from a much, much more ethical company who cares about tabletop RPGs, to the point where this is the second time they are fighting back against Wizards of the Coast over a dispute regarding something adjacent to the OGL.
Sounds nuts. Well, have fun talking about that on your show. It sounds like a nightmare. Hey, let me catch up with what Sylvie here is saying here. I hope there's enough pressure boycotting goes on for them for backpedal, but then they'd show what kind of owners they are nowadays, so they can't heal that public relationship.
Yeah, like, that's sorry, but yeah, that they've been backpedaling hard. Like, they are in maximum damage control, but people are not having it.
Well, good, as they shouldn't have it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there are enough alternative tabletop RPGs. People don't need D&D anymore, and Wizards of the Coast, like, D&D, it will always be, at least 5th edition, will always be a phenomenal game. It'll always be recognized as one of the, like, great tabletop RPGs, but it's being run by a company. The company that's running it is causing, like, just the intellectual property to just not be safe to consume, because they're actively poisoning it.
Yeah.
Oh, and I guess I'll read chat. Sylvian was also saying what's with the anti-consumerism nowadays, and I wanted to respond to that, because that's essentially what my channel seems to be turning into, is me disgusted with anti-consumer practices.
Me disgusted.
I guess my channel is slowly turning into, like, industry talk, because the new video I released, which I didn't really mention what it was, because it's literally a 2-minute video talking about news that I don't know if you're really going to be interested in, but essentially I'm super into a game series, or into the Hitman series of games, and I don't know if you've ever really seen much from them, but essentially they're probably one of the most like elaborate stealth games out on the market right now.
Hmm. I've seen you play the Hitman games. I know you like the Hitman games.
Oh, I absolutely love them.
Let's see here.
But if you want to talk about consumer unfriendly or anti-consumer practices, IO Interactive, the developers, used to be owned by Square Enix, and Square Enix has been getting pretty anti-consumer a lot these days. But
Have they really?
oh yeah, Square Enix has been falling into the news for just a lot of getting into a lot of issues with stuff they've been releasing.
That's a shame.
Specifically in regards to Hitman, Hitman was released in episodes and was released with a lot of very piecemeal DLC. It was just getting the whole trilogy was like prohibitively expensive, and it was making it super hard for me to recommend the game to people, because it's like if you have to pay like if the buy-in was like $100 for the first game, what are you going to like? How are you going to feel with like when you finally make it to 2 and 3, right?
Right. Oh, I see we got someone else here in the chat. How do you pronounce that? Kazu? Hello, everyone. Hello. How's it going? Welcome to the stream.
I always feel like when I join you in calls, I just take over voice.
It's fine. I'm focusing on mapping anyways, so give me stuff to listen to. Fill my brain up with nonsense right now.
You will want the classic Square Enix world building and character design quality. Would recommend the Tales series of RPGs. I've heard a lot of good things about the Tales of RPGs. Actually, really cares about. It has a very lax music problem. Yeah, like I can appreciate when it. Actually, just to get back to the Hitman thing, because I was complaining about anti-consumer practices, and just to finish that off before I go on a whole other tangent. Essentially, what IO has been doing lately is they're independent. They're no longer tied to Square Enix, and a lot of people assumed when that happened that they were going to start doing a lot more to be like better with their product. And it was slow, but they were like, they were doing an okay job keeping the content relevant. But as far as pricing their game is concerned, it was still way too pricey. And just recently, and in fact in just under a week, they're going to be re-releasing the trilogy as one game called Hitman World of Assassination. The whole trilogy is going to be, I think, $70 USD for the 3 games, and then there's a $30 add-on that is literally all of the DLC packaged up into one download or one purchase. Which that is like for how much time I can see people getting in Hitman, $100 for all of that I feel is worth it. And that's not accounting for any sales or anything. That's just base game. You get the whole trilogy. And that game is really like, the trilogy should have just been one giant game anyway, because it's episodic. Like, it was episodic. All of the chapters are like tell one story. And like once you have the third game, the first 2 games just get added to the third one. So it always has felt like one big game priced and sold as 3 with a whole bunch of DLC. And I wanted to, like, because I made a video on them overpricing their game ages ago, I wanted to make a new one talking about how impressed I am with their recent changes and like what they're doing with the game. I didn't even mention that they're also adding in a whole roguelike mode, essentially.
Ooh.
I am super excited for because
Yeah.
I'm just like, yeah, I love roguelikes.
Same.
And I love Hitman. And they just put them together.
That's gonna be really cool. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with
Trails,
that.
not to be confused with the Tales series, like Tales in the Sky, first arc. Yeah, sorry, I misread that. They have an ongoing continuity, and the whole world has played out in maybe 6 years and 12 games. It's really cool. That does sound cool.
Well, I'm glad I have you here reading the chat. I don't have my normal setup today, so I'm having to do everything from my laptop, and it's not the same setup. I don't have two screens. I had to keep looking back at my phone to read chat. I almost thought I wasn't gonna be able to stream tonight, man. Like my Streamlabs was like, "You can't do this. You don't have this right codec." I'm like, "Oh crap." And so I was like, maybe I should update my drivers. So I tried updating my drivers, and it's like NVIDIA GeForce cannot update the drivers. Like, oh no. And I kept trying, and I like reboot my PC, still didn't get anything. And then I was like, what if I just change the codec? So I just changed the codec. It's like, okay, thank God. It was a mess. It was a really big mess earlier. I was stressed.
Actually, you know what? Funny enough, I think I own Trails in the Sky on my PSP. My PSP, however, has a big pixelated line right through the screen because, or it has a row of dead pixels and the battery is shot. So I don't think I'll be playing it on that anytime soon. But I have seen it and heard of it.
I saw Rid was in here. He needs to get in here so he can see what I'm doing for his farm. Butthole. I don't like any of these bushes. These bushes are ugly.
First 2 are on the PSP in English, or the first 5 in Japan. Video quality still looks pretty good on whatever codec you're using. So,
well, that's good.
I guess I'm also watching too, so I could probably have commented on that.
As long as the microphone and the video sounds good, I'm okay. I'm not worried. Ooh, that might actually work.
I'm gonna go on a hunch and just say you're multi-streaming to Twitch, aren't you?
Nope.
No?
Nope, those days are behind me.
Oh.
Yep, I no longer do that anymore.
What made you make the decision to put the rap on Twitch yourself?
Honestly, it's too much work to get things going in Twitch.
Just more convenient to streamline it on YouTube.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I've already got an established audience on YouTube. Might as well just stay on YouTube. And I'm personally, I'm not a big fan of what all Twitch has been doing lately. So they can go suck an egg.
Oh yeah, same here, dude. You've heard me complain about Twitch several times over the past few months.
Oh, all the time.
It's one of my favorite things to complain about.
It's one of our pastimes.
I have a lot of favorite things I complain about, and that's near the top of the list.
It's one of our favorite pastimes to talk about Twitch.
I complain about things a lot when it's something the biggest gripe for me is when something I like gets worse, because doing nothing could have been a better outcome than changing it the way they have.
Oh yeah, I'm not happy with the way they changed things.
Yeah, and it's just like oh man, series goes on sale like many times a year, so if you're uncertain, the first game is on Steam. It's like $10 on sale. It has a ton of features over the PSP version and better localization. All 8 going on 9 in 2 months. first games available on Steam. I'd probably play them on Steam, honestly. I wouldn't want to bust out the old PSP for a game like that.
Oh, why not?
It's just my PSP is essentially an ornament these days. It sits on my shelf. It's there to remind me of my conquests.
I never owned a PSP. I always wanted one, but I never got the chance to own one.
I owned the PSP for ages, and one thing that's always bugged me about the PSP is it has one, like, it plays like a PS2, but it has one fucking D-pad, or not D-pad, it has, like, whatever the equivalent they use for, like, the sticks, but they have one, and the PS Vita fixes that and gets a second one, and it plays, like, the Vita is phenomenal, but a lot of, like, one of the first games I played on the PSP, God bless my heart, was Monster Hunter Freedom? No, I think Freedom came after. It was one of the Monster Hunter games. Might have just been. Oh, I think it might have been just Monster Hunter Portable.
God,
Anyway.
Monster Hunter, you just brought back some memories for me.
Controlling the Monster Hunter on PSP is awful. It is not the best on the other. Like the control scheme, a lot of people bring up the claw, which is a way you hold the controller specifically to play the older Monster Hunter games. But the PSP having one fewer sticks made it a pain in the ass to pick that up. And that was the first time I played Monster Hunter too. I had to get good early. The PS Vita would have been so much better if it got more support. If it had the same support that the PSP got, it would have been it would have been like the definitive portable console experience. But no, they released probably one of the best pieces of hardware, and the only games it got were like a few ports and a few games being pushed at the beginning, and then it was nothing but JRPGs and niche titles, so nobody picked it up. And don't get me wrong, those titles are right up my alley, so like I was having fun with the PSP when I finally got one, but it's yeah, control claw grip with one control stick and a terrible hitbox. Monster Hunter World is the GOAT game. I agree 100%. If anyone tries to make the argument that Monster Hunter Rise is better than World, they're just objectively wrong. It's a good game, but it ain't better than World. I'll say it's better than Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate.
You know, I do love World a lot. Monster Hunter World was probably my favorite, just because you introduced it to me. But God, I still will not forget that one day I played Monster Hunter World and I got so pissed off. Like I was fuming. It was I was chasing this damn dragon around, this spiked dragon all around the damn map. And he kept leaving. He'd let me beat on him for a little bit, and then he'd leave, and he'd go somewhere else, and I had to chase him all the way across the map, go get him, beat him up. But that was my main objective. That was my only mission, was to beat the shit out of him. And he runs away. I was so close to getting him, so close, and he exits the map. And then I go back, and she's like, "Hey, you failed. Sorry." I'm like, "Oh." She's like, "Would you like to try again?" I was like, "Screw you."
That's always kind of been like a Monster Hunter tradition. There's always been like a few monsters who are really prone to running away. The Rathalos is one of the most notorious because
that's who it was. That's who it was. That son of a bitch.
Oh, before I but yeah, like it's so bad with the Rathalos that people refer to it as the Rathalos World Tour because they have you traveling the entire map.
I was so mad when I got to the end. They're like, would you like to try again? Like, no, that's some bullshit.
Anyway, Sylveon says, yeah, I love the PS Vita. I got it early on. Falcom made a ton of games for that, like the 3 Yeast games and Trails games, and the 2 Trails games. And they got someone to remake the first 5 Trails games on it too. Sylveon also says, I got into Monster Hunter and with Try and on the Wii. Sorry, I'm really bad at reading. And thought there's a USB port on my Wii. What if I can? Oh my god, I can type online with a keyboard. The Monster Hunter missions where you gotta secure an. Oh my god, the egg missions are so annoying, especially if you get to like right at the end and you act. There's been times where I've gotten to the end and just like hit the wrong button, threw the egg on the ground, and just let it smash. I'm like. I hate myself.
I've done the same thing.
It's so easy because it's just like you walk the whole way and never once are you interacting with a prompt, and then you get the first prompt and your brain's like, I'm gonna put the egg down.
It's such a bad feeling too when you do. You're like, oh no, what have I done?
Yeah, it's just like that walk took a while, and now I have to do it again, and it's all my fault.
It is.
Oh, that's what makes it extra burn, is knowing that you did this. You hit the wrong button. and like when you're at the chest, you can also like just pepper it with the feeling of knowing that the mission would have been over already.
But no, you just had to make the mistake. Now you gotta go back and do it. Yeah, I've done that way too many times, and it's never fun. It's never pleasant. It always hurts when you do it.
You know what I really just... If they made this game, I'd be like, shut up and take my money. If they made a Monster Hunter game, but like medieval fantasy, like, and here's how I would frame it too, because there's already an entire blueprint, and Monster Hunter is part of that, or is technically the mechanical portion of that blueprint, but the thematic portion is just take any anime that uses the whole idea of like an adventurers guild and just base it off of that. You're good. You have the entire blueprint. The moment a game does that, I am like, they're like, I am going to be their simp.
Take my money. Just shut up and take my money, please. Oh, well, what else have you been up to lately, though, man? Like, it's been a while.
Oh, I've actually been up to a lot lately. Like, I've mentioned it just about every time, but like the new meds I'm taking, I mentioned them a lot because they're doing a lot right now. They've allowed me to get back into doing art. They've allowed me to, like, you know, I'm producing videos again. I'm doing all kinds of stuff. I am like, some days I am just totally like, my whole body is basically just rattling some days, and I cannot get enough movement, and like, I just can't, like, I can't push through the pain. So some days are a complete wash, but like whenever I'm in good shape, I am like doing all kinds of things each day. I started picking up some tools, and I'm gonna be making various like little handicraft things.
Oh?
Yeah, I'm starting with wood and small metal things. So I'm gonna be making The wooden things I have planned are stuff like pendants, pipes. Trying to think. Weed packing tools, things like that. Stuff that's basically like either small enough to fit in the hand, or something that's very, very like can be kind of molded instead of like something that, you know, I ain't gonna be making any like big boxes or anything quite yet.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to be doing. I want to try to make rings, like metal rings.
Ooh, that'd be
other
cool.
like jewelry. Essentially, what I got, what spurred this on is I recently got a rotary tool. And those things are fucking great, dude. If you don't have a rotary tool and you're not really a tool person, get a rotary tool anyway, because, like, I keep finding uses for that thing. UK Perspective asks, do you have a new video coming out soon?
I do, actually. Here next week, I'll be releasing the new patch update video where Vult-r has added the customizable themes now in the config files. So it's much easier now to upload or add your own custom themes, or if somebody submits themes on the themes page for the EO website, you can just download them quickly, easily import them, and just quickly change through themes without having the nightmare and the hassle of it all. So that's going to be my next big video. The only reason why I'm covering that is because I know that was one I suggested, and I'm kind of gushing over it, to be honest. But yeah,
Nice to see how much is going on with EO these days.
there's a lot going on. Honestly, what I'd like to see with EO is I'd like to see it become more modded, like a more moddable type client. Where you can just...
Speaking of open source and homebrew, that's kind of what EO feels like it's turning into.
I mean, it's not a bad direction, honestly.
I honestly think designing the game to further be designed later by the community is probably the best way EO can be. Is probably, it's a good way for EO. It's a good direction for EO to go.
Yeah.
It's the first time I thought EO was going in a good direction in a long time.
And honestly, like, I think having it easily moddable is, to me, that makes it more endless online. Because nowadays, when I think of endless online, I think of like endless possibilities, endless opportunities that you can provide for players rather than just the norm. You know, maybe there could be a main server one day down the road, but I do like the idea where it's a much more open, modded community. And
well, think of it. I'm like, I was literally, when I first came in here, I was actually playing on a heavily modded Minecraft server, and that's honestly what I can see EO turning into. Is, you know, every server has its own flavor. Every server kind of changes its groove. You know.
Yeah. And who knows what Vult-r's got plans for when it comes to the server. I'd like to, or not server, but, you know, update wise. I don't know if he'll ever make an official server again. I'm sure he's kind of skeptical about that these days, which he has every right to be, you know. I mean, I don't blame him. I would be too if I was in his shoes. That's a lot to pick back up on after so long. But I don't know. I'm curious. I'd like to. What would you guys like to see? Would you guys like to see it be more open source and heavily modded, and or easily moddable and all that? Like, yeah, there's gonna be risk with mods and stuff like that, but just think about all the endless possibilities it could provide for like server developers and just the all in all player experience.
Sylveon's also been saying, old school RuneScape got so much open source homebrew, RuneLite third-party open source client, and probably nearing 1,000 community submitted plugins. They've got some. Actually, now that you mentioned about plugins and stuff, World of Warcraft is all like World of Warcraft's popularity. I'm gonna say was at least in part due to the fact that people could make a lot of plugins and stuff for that too.
Yeah.
Also, they've got some wacky stuff like self-imposed game mode plugins, like one where a snail chases you across the map. If it reaches you, you die. That's
Really? Really?
funny. No, not really.
I
Actually,
was about to say, what?
you die in the game, not in you die in the mini game, not in the game or in real life.
Now I kind of want to just see that added in.
You got a plugin that adds prop hunt to old school RuneScape, and a plugin that makes everyone dance all the time around you, or kick a door open. That's cool. It used to just come back. No one can really take EO and run it due to all the graphics being owned by someone else.
Yeah, I kind of asked him if he was going to come back, and he dances around that question a lot. I think a part of him wants to come back fully, and then a part of him doesn't want to, because I imagine it would put a lot more responsibility on his plate if he was to come back and release an official server, and maybe he's just not in a place right now in his life where he needs that responsibility. But I would like to see him come back one day. I really would. It would be nice. But right now he's doing these updates, so I mean, I can't ask for too much.
I'm kind of in the boat of like EO. I have agreed that EO the EO private server community has had a level of stagnation due to the fact you can't really like, you know, the thought of ownership has been up in the air regarding EO and all of its assets. Also, Sylveon says, survey says, you play a death animation, but don't lose anything. Also, plug in that you have to unlock tiles to walk by gaining. Oh, the one tile at a time challenge. I've heard of that one. And yeah, to just go back to the Vult-r stuff. I've even had this conversation like a long time. I don't even know how long ago with Siin about how my like, because I haven't made an EO video in a very long time, and I probably won't. If I ever want to talk about Endless Online, I'll come here and, you know, give Siin an earful. I don't really see a reason to if I have a point that I want to make, I don't really see a reason to make it over on my channel when you know, I can say whatever I want here, and it probably is going to reach more ears in the community. But long time ago, I told Siin that part of the reason I was actually giving up making EO videos is EO wasn't going anywhere. People like, this was around the time when a bunch of the like alternate servers that were doing really well started to lose steam, and the player base kind of like fizzled out. So along with that, I was just like, I made an attempt to try and do a couple more videos, but the topics that I was actually interested in covering ended up going nowhere for me. So I had to scrap a couple EO videos, and I was just like, yeah, I'm kind of I'm gonna call her here, because I came to the realization at the time, and at the time it was true, that EO wasn't really making any progress. The official server hadn't had any updates in a very long time, and I say main didn't have any updates in a really long time. So I was just like, all right, I guess it's you know, it's time to pack her up and move along, because there wasn't really much going on. And now there's actual, like, you know, activity. I mean, even right now we're watching a map being made.
Yeah, it's amazing what's been going on lately. Because I remember you and me, we had this chat before. It was we were talking about like how being a EO content creator was kind of a stressful job, really, because you're always kind of scratching the bottom of the barrel with EO content.
Yeah, like um the thing about making EO content is you're almost guaranteed to on YouTube, measurements of success vary in quite a few degrees, but if you're just like if you're a nobody online, um you can make an EO video and it will be seen by the people who want to see it, and that feels really, it feels like you're actually making something that matters, and
Yeah,
that it's a really good feeling. And I'm not saying you know I I wouldn't want to pursue that, but the hurdle isn't making videos that people will actually like seek out and find and actually watch, and you get positive feedback from. It's just thinking of like, what can I even talk about? And at the time, I spoke about every single thing I really wanted to talk about with regards to EO, because it was mostly me just remembering how things used to be, me going through the game again and just getting the feel again, me just seeing if the game still is like worth at least giving a shot. And I think I looked over all that stuff. You really wish Ever Endless didn't die. You loved it. That it might still be your favorite server. That's the server that really broke my heart. Because that's the server I actually contributed to, and just to see it kind of like fizzle away was really disappointing.
I will say though, I remember the first year I started up Siin TV. Actually, it was when we were doing obscured gaming. Uh,
Mhm.
this is whenever you and I first started talking, and I remember you and I both were worried about being EO content creators on YouTube, and for whatever reason, I just kind of stuck with it, and just kept going with it. And now that like all this new stuff has been going on, Vult-r's back, and there's been new YouTubers popping up left and right. Like, thank God we've got the UK perspectives, doing content. He's been streaming a lot, like crazy lately. Like, man, dude, don't stop with the streams, because those streams, like I tune into them. I may not always talk, but I do tune into them, and they get me through my day. But with all this new updates, there's so much new stuff to talk about now. And like gameplay wise, when it comes to servers, there's not a whole lot. There are new servers in the making, like Zenith Online, and there's this one called Bandio, and then there's one that I know that Null's helping working on. That's like both PC and mobile, so that will be interesting. But one idea I had about for content, EO content, and this is something that even the UK perspective can do, is and this would help kind of promote the new update, is the themes. You could do like a themes showcase on your channel. You're like, today we're checking out some of these themes here. Or you're like, here's my top 5 favorite submitted themes, or whatever. Like, that's why I say EO needs to be more heavily modded. Because if it's more heavily modded, then you have way more content for these EO YouTubers to do, and we wouldn't be scratching the bottom of the barrel all the time. We'd be, or having to create our own content, like coming up with new concepts and ideas. But if it was more heavily modded, man, the amount of EO content that would come out.
Yeah, and I like I don't want to like ever sound like I'm talking down to people who make EO content, because if you ever go to my channel, it's not like I'm making like, it's not like I'm this big like massive name out there, but I at this point, if I probably could make a video, and I probably do have things to say at this point because there is things going on. But to me, I'm just like, anything I want, like any nuance I want to bring up, like I said, it's more benefit. It'll be seen. Like it doesn't benefit me, but it will be seen more here. So why not just do it here? And the other thing is, I do have a lot of other interests, and when I was trying to pursue other interests as well as EO, the YouTube algorithm doesn't like that.
No, it does not.
It is a surefire way to reduce the success of your other videos, is by, you know, making a lot of EO content and then, you know, trying to branch out from EO, since EO is already quite a small community. It's an uphill battle.
That's very true.
And like I was saying earlier, my channel is kind of turning into like discussing companies, the ethics of companies, and just what kind of like I'm gonna try to make it a not just a negative thing. I'm not gonna just like dumps. In fact, I'm probably going to avoid it unless it's a game or a franchise I really care about. But I want to promote like good business practices in gaming. If I think a company is going in a good direction, you know, I want to support them and I want to endorse their products, because there's so many companies out right now and so many like developers that are just making, like, they're ruining the games I like because they're making them, they're nickel and diming you over them.
Yep.
And that's essentially the current trajectory of my channel. So to continue making EO content over there would just be it would hurt my chances at my newer ventures.
Oh, it would. Like that's the whole reason why I started up Siin TV, was because we originally did obscured gaming, and when I had uploaded the very first Endless Online video, that video just blew the fuck up, and because of that, it messed up the views of everything. All the videos that we submitted from there on out just was not gonna blow up unless it was Endless Online. Every EO video we put up was just gold for some weird reason. And that shows you a lot about the EO community, like how dedicated they are and how supportive they are. And I'm super thankful for that. I really am. So I was like, you know what? I don't want to keep hurting this channel's algorithm or what we're trying to do with it. So I went ahead and made Siin TV, and I'm glad I did, because, well, I'll say this: obscure gaming isn't really up and running anymore. We kind of killed it off. So that's one project down. Siin TV's got more focus. But
before we continue, I just want to read out chat real quick.
Go for it.
Sylveon says, I wonder how EO would have ended it up if no one social engineered Vult-r's host. We probably wouldn't have private servers, and it would just be clone. But would Vult-r come back earlier and make content, or main not clone? Also, the old school RuneScape team has good business practices. The company behind them, though, is a bit tainted by investors, but they've convinced the investors to not do harmful things because it would cause an exodus. The development team, they're pretty much all play the game and actively communicate with the community in the streams, and they've done a lot to build good relations. And I agree. I think actually I've said this in the past: if there's one MMO that is currently in actively running that I can condone the way they run their game, it's old school RuneScape. In fact, I'll just say RuneScape as a whole, because I have more issues with RuneScape 3, but the fact that if you package them together, they become bigger than the sum of their parts. and I don't think, and having the option to opt into whatever, I think is like the whole way they have RuneScape set up is amazing. But to go back to your previous question with the getting the private servers going, I 100% think if the private servers were never established for Endless Online would never have returned. Whether that be sooner or later. Because as someone who was there, it was like years of we had years between updates at certain points before it just went cold turkey. And I think the only reason if the trajectory of the original EO was the way it was, we would have seen the player base probably die before we made it to any form of resurgence. That would be my guess, but ultimately, it's like that's the timeline we'll never get to see. 2005 to 2009 was super barren. Yeah. Oh yeah, it was.
Okay, real quick.
I remember like every day I was like, maybe today is the day that we're gonna see the update.
You guys want to know what's going to make this server stand apart from other servers?
What is that?
I'm about to add something here. This is a little secret that you guys are about to find out. This bush is
gonna draw a giant dick. It's just gonna be too big for anyone to notice. Sorry, what were you actually doing?
I'm doing something here.
I think I see what you're doing.
What should the flirty bush say? It's got to flirt with the player.
Oh. 1 second.
I'm going to take everybody's advice here. What should the flirty bush say? It's a random bush that you'll go up to and talk to if you knew that this bush could actually talk. It's a secret. Those of you who are watching it, you know the secret now.
So I want to tell you about this Easter egg because it almost it super strikes me as the perfect thing to reference, but it's going to be something that nobody but me is going to be into. So
okay,
I'm sure if you steal the idea, no one will care. So I play a lot of Mabinogi, right? And in Mabinogi, in the main town, there's an area that's just covered in trees, and behind those trees is a sign that says something stupid about like seeing it sounds like a cam girl advertisement. I need a minute to find the sign, but I'm not saying you should make it the message or anything, but
I like both what Sylvie and UK put in. I'm torn between those two, actually. That sounds like something that Wish would put in, the UK. The "Would you like to leave with me?" She would totally do a pun like that.
Puns are always hilarious.
We'll go ahead. We'll make another flirty bush. Any jokes you guys have?
There's gonna be so many bushes people can talk to.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and like also the signs, they have unique names. Like one's called Steven the sign, the other one's called an uncertain sign. It's like, man, why is that sign so uncertain? Yeah, like we'll make a sign here. We're gonna make a sign that says Ren's Spider Farm, and I'll let somebody name the sign. How about that? This will be our little fun thing tonight. Where's my signs at? I have to find the signs first.
Oh. The sign in Mabinogi says, Lowest interest rate in Erin. Erin being the like world. With immediate loans. Non-payment cards are acceptable. Bad credit, okay. Use Camera Girl's camera and enter Albie Dungeon. Yoo-hoo. That sign is just sitting there. It's really hard to see because it's a bunch of trees and stuff are in the way. And it has it's written like it's in the context of the world, but like non-payment cards are acceptable and bad credit have absolutely no like has nothing to do with the game.
I'm thorny.
Oh, I like that one.
That one's good. Hang on. I'll go back to this sign here in a minute. We gotta make another bush in this map that says that. What bush is gonna say I'm thorny? We'll put this one in the very back. This one.
You know what? Someone needs to make like EO trivia quests where one of like you gotta be like, what does the flirty bush tell you?
What should we call this bush?
I mean, the thorny one can be thorny. Just thorny bush.
Thorny.
Message, I'm thorny.
Thorny the bush. Perfect. Way to go. You got it in there, man. You got it. Make a meta sign that says super hidden to be like have seemed like two friends. I'd like to have like where there's two signs just having a conversation. Okay. So this is gonna say Ren's Spider Farm.
Just be like, subscribe to my endless fans.
What should this sign be called? It could be called anything. Like
for this one.
Yeah, because I have one sign I called Steven the sign. The other one's called Uncertain sign. A suspicious sign. Sus sign. Until then, I'm gonna put just a sign. It's too long.
You could maybe do like helpful sign.
Yeah.
Because I mean, out of all the signs I've seen you make today, this is probably the only one.
It really
that's actually giving you a sign.
Yeah, it really is the only helpful one. Man, I didn't realize I was going for this long. I didn't think this stream would do so well. I didn't think people would want to watch me map. That's really cool.
The same as like when I do drawing streams or art streams, you know.
Well, before I
think it's boring.
Before I go, everybody, I will kind of tease one map to you all. This is one of the biggest city maps that we have right now. And Mace might get a little upset that I'm sharing this, but it's whatever at this point.
If you don't hide a schlong in at least one map that's going to be in the live world, I'm going to be exceptionally disappointed in you.
Oh, get ready to be disappointed to me.
It's okay, it could be real subtle. Hide it under some buildings.
This is a big town that we're working on right now.
Be like, you don't know this, but that park, it's actually a pair of balls.
But But this is a map I wanted to kind of tease off to you guys, show you what all's in here. There is an entire mailing daily quest system that you'll be able to do, where you deliver mail to these mailboxes. An underground sewer system as well. Checkers, you can play checkers here in the park. But this is only one town out of many. Like I said, we have over a total of probably over 63, 64 maps finished so far. So it's coming along. We're getting there. We're getting there. But I think I'm going to end the stream here. This has been a great stream. I didn't expect it to do so well. You guys have been awesome. Thank you everybody for showing up tonight. And thank you, Wired Rabbit, for showing up and keeping me company and taking time out of your schedule to read the chat and just hang out with me.
Yeah, it was kind of a little surprise appearance.
Wait on real quick. Sylvie says that looks a lot more modern. Yeah, this is kind of actually a late game map, believe it or not. And the civilization does get a little bit more advanced. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was actually going to say that I didn't say anything, but I was thinking it does look very modern, and it actually made me think about like the MapleStory aesthetic, because it's kind of got the MapleStory's kind of got like a mixed fantasy, technology, modern kind of aesthetic, and I'm just like, it's much more archaic, but it does remind me very much of that.
Yeah, it's oh, and here's something that I kind of wanted to show off. Something I had fun with real quick. Right here, you'll see these little squiggly patterns coming out around the ground. It's probably going to be a delay for everybody, but that's something we've been actually incorporating as part of the story for this server. These little squiggly lines in the ground means that there's some sort of infection in the world that's been spreading, and there's a reason for it, and it's part of an in-game story for your character. So there's a reason why it looks all squiggly and weird. Let me read comments here before I head out here. Let's see, and busy. I could see walking or taking a while. Yeah, this is, like I said, this is a very late game map. This is kind of near end game, honestly. It's where civilization is much more advanced, and this map's gonna be probably the biggest map in the entire server so far. This is, yeah, I think it will be the biggest map. Let's see, it looks really well done. Looking forward to it. Great stream. Thank you so much. Thank you. That sounds super neat. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's stream. I enjoyed it, and I will see you all next time on SiinTV. Have a good one, everybody.